Hi, my name is Noel Lilly and I am 36 years old. I had a hysterectomy on October 20th of 2016 and I get a lot of questions about how I feel physically, emotionally, and mentally. A lot of women are very curious about it. A lot of women experience endometriosis and that is what I had. I've had that since I was 13. So I've always struggled with the pains, chronic headaches, vaginal pains, rectal pains, hot flashes, the fluttering, it feels like you're pregnant, and back pains, heavy periods, all of that stuff. I suffered from that from the time I was 13 all the way up until I had my hysterectomy. I've had two children. They are 7 and 9. I had difficulties getting pregnant, so I had the doctor's assistance in getting pregnant. And in between there and after my pregnancies, I had went on hormone therapy. So on the depot, you can only be on it for so long before they no longer allow you to be on the depot shot. That seemed to be what helped me the best. And then I would have a backer, so I wouldn't have any breakthrough bleeding. And I didn't have a period for 7 full years. And I'd like to say actually 6 after my son was born. I went directly onto the depot, and you can only be on it for so long. And those hormone therapies can wreak havoc on your body. They can thin out your bones, and I experienced a very bad broken ankle 2 years ago because of it thinning out my bones, and I am now rebuilding my bone mass. And so I wanted to go over a little bit about the emotional state and how I feel physically and emotionally after my surgery. It took me a little while to commit. I found myself rescheduling that surgical appointment. And I think that that's because I was nervous. I was nervous to be so young and not to have my uterus. And it was causing so much problems in my body, and a lot of women experience endometriosis. They also experience fibroids and other issues. And after you have your children, you just kind of don't want to give up your uterus. You feel less of a woman. Well, physically, after my surgery, I had robotic surgery. I was thrilled about that because your heal time is cut down tremendously if you do robotic surgery. If you happen to be a candidate, I highly advise having that done that way. And once I committed, it was about 5 days after my surgery, I was feeling a lot better, but I noticed immediate changes. I was having chronic problems with my bladder, and he cleaned off my bladder from the adhesions, and I no longer have any of those symptoms. So I was not able to empty my bladder ever. So after that, now I'm able to empty my bladder, and the urgency. I would never get enough warning, and I would just all of a sudden need to go, and you're not all of a sudden by a bathroom all the time. So I no longer deal with that. And I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I don't feel like anything was taken out. So that part, I know you think a uterus, it's got to be rather large. No, I don't feel any different there. And if you do a lot of research, which I do a lot of research on everything that I plan on doing, and it was a little scary because it would say after you have your hysterectomy, you'll have vaginal dryness, your libido drops, you're going to have hot flashes, night sweats, mood swings, depression. And I was really scared about that, but I don't have any of those symptoms. None of those symptoms at all. I dropped about 25 pounds. My breasts have grown, and other than that, physically, there isn't any differences except for I no longer have the chronic headaches. I no longer have the pains. It's completely gone. All of the ailments I had for 20 some years is completely gone. and emotionally. I feel more of a woman now because I'm not suffering. So I just wanted to let everybody know that if you're going through that process of making that decision, do your research, but go and look for blogs and see how women actually felt afterwards. And I'm Noel Lilly. I'm on Facebook. You can find me. Hit me up if you have any questions. But just remember that you're no less of a woman after a hysterectomy. We just belong to a different club. Thank you. Have a good day.